Shalom, brothers and sisters. May the Lord's peace, mercy, and grace be with you. Have you ever asked yourself a question? Why do we need marriage advice, whether we are married or not? For people who are married and for people who want to marry in future, they need understanding of both male and female partners. We did this in our first and second series of marriage and relationships, the male and female partners. Some of our marriages or current world marriages, and even some time back, used to break because of wrong foundations. Marriage are breaking because of wrong foundations. Either one partner had wrong foundations or both of them had wrong foundations. In the book of Mathew chapter 19 verse 5, it is written and said, "For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh." So the two will become one flesh. And when the Bible is talking about the two becoming one flesh, it doesn't mean that they will be thinking the same, they will be reasoning the same. No. Some of these things comes later when there is high understanding. But if a man had a different foundation as compared to the woman, or a woman had wrong foundations, there will be problems in marriage, either in relationships or in marriage. There are different foundations in different nations, in different cultures. Number one, mostly deal with the roles. The role of a partner in marriage, the role of a man and the role of a woman. It is conflicting in different cultures, different races, and different countries. For example, cooking. There are people who believe, based on those foundations taught by him or her when they were young, they believe cooking only belongs to men, to women, I mean. They believe sweeping the house, making houses belongs only to women. They saw their mothers doing, they saw their sisters doing, but they never saw their father or their brothers doing. And some of these things were taught in school. So these were wrong foundations and usually affect marriage. For example, if a woman is married by a man who their foundations have no problem with men cooking, and this woman comes from where men don't cook, when this woman sees her husband cooking, some of them, based on understanding, there will be no problem, but some will have issues. How about women working? There are some cultures who teach their children, women and girls, that a woman should never work when married. So if this woman is married by a man who believes men can work, who is taught in the foundations that men can work, so when one day this man tells his wife to go maybe do business somewhere, this woman will be shocked. She will tell her husband, "No, I'm married, I'm supposed to be at home." How about sex foundations? Some have got very wrong sex foundations when they were young. We usually teach our children that sex is bad before marriage, which is very true and it is biblical. But why do some people believe that sex is very filthy even when they are married? It is because when they were growing, no one ever told them that in marriage, sex is very legal. There is no sin there. So some people get problems after they marry. They start imagining being on bed with a man or a woman because they have never done so, and no one ever told them that it is very legal. So pastors out there, priests out there, and other psychiatrists, they usually get involved and solve these problems. But before they are told there are certain problems, people have suffered and marriages have suffered. Some women have been taught by their cultures, which are wrong foundations, that anytime we have sex with a man, you have to be paid. So when this woman is married, they usually demand payment from their husbands, legally married husbands. And some have problem in marriage because this man has come from a foundation where they know very well if they are married, there's no payment. But this woman has come to a culture that sex need to be paid for. So they have problem in marriage. These are wrong foundations. How about working class women? There are some foundations in some areas which teaches men that a woman should never work, a woman should never do any payment jobs. So there are these conflicting foundations. How about polygamy and monogamy? When a man from a polygamous situation or from a polygamous family and who believes that polygamy is okay marries a woman who doesn't believe polygamy is okay, and when this man wants to marry a second wife, they will have problem because this woman knows very well, according to her foundation, polygamy is a sin. The man says no, it's not a sin. These are different foundations which bring problem in marriages, and that is why we need to ask God to give us the spirit of understanding. Some men believe that, and based on the foundations, they believe that you have to marry a woman who has smaller body size, and they go ahead and marry women with smaller body size. But later, after women give birth, due to hormonal changes in the body, the woman body size changes and becomes big. These men, sometimes they are scared and marriage ends up being ruined. Some foundations teach men that they should never tell their wives that they have properties outside there. They tell men that their wives should never know how much they get, how much they are being paid. And if a woman comes from an area or a situation or maybe culture where they teach women that it's good to know how much your husband is earning, it is good to know the properties of your husband because it will be yours as well. They have conflicting information. They will have problem in marriage because when this woman asks her husband how much he earns, this husband will not take it lightly because this man got wrong foundations. Some people believe that a woman should have less money than them. They believe that women should not have more money than them, should not have better properties, should not have better cars. So if it is a relationship, you find people are having very good time in their relationships. But when a man who has very wrong foundation realizes that his partner, who is a woman, is having more money, has properties, has better cars, most of the time this relationship ends, not unless this man asks for spirit of understanding and also does research on that foundations issues. So let's keep on checking background of our partner's foundations, checking background of our own foundations, and marriages will continue becoming very well, and there will be less divorce, and even partners who are not married, they will have more confidence.